gamers, and welcome to episode 420 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for July 1st, 2023. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on these past few weeks, Dominic?
Man, it's been busy. It's been busy these past few weeks, but we got a lot to talk about. Since we've been going for a while, there's a lot of games I've been playing, things been happening. So I was gonna let's get right into it. So I'll just edit that out. The sports stuff. Say, okay, man. Let's start now. Okay, so we're just gonna get right to games because I got because there's a lot to talk about. So let's get right to it. So the games I've been playing for the last few weeks. So have you been playing anything?
I've been still sticking around in Zelda. Haven't really been doing any of the story stuff still, just kind of completing side quests, exploring stuff. That's mostly how I've been spending my gaming time. I did play finally the Lies of P demo that I believe you talked about the last time we recorded. Kind of mentioned that. That is very much just like a Dark Souls game. Like it is what I always imagine when I think Dark Souls. Like the animations are even very similar when you use your whatever the equivalent is of an Estus flask. I think the combat stuff is fine. And I was having a decent enough time with it until I got to the boss, and then the boss reminded me of all the things I don't really like about the Dark Souls-esque games, which is like having very few opportunities to actually hit them, and then they just do insane amounts of damage, killing you in like 3 hits. And I don't know if I lack the patience or if I lack the skill or what have you, and then having to basically do the whole area up to the boss again. It's not just starting you off there again. That's the kind of thing that begins to grind on me. So like the first time I'll get killed by the boss, I'll go back through the level as I did the first time and just kind of slowly make my way there, and then I get back to the boss again. And then maybe I'll get an extra hit or two on him. And then the third time I'm like, all right, I'm going to rush through this first area, and then it's like, okay, now I'm not even going to make it to the boss, and then I'll try like one last time, and I'm like, okay, I'm done here. I don't find this fun. I could be spending my time doing something else. There are plenty of video games out there. This ain't for me.
Did you at least find a shortcut to the boss?
I mean, I unlock. I don't know if there's like a specific shortcut, but I'm opening the gates and stuff that make it quicker to get to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying. I just make sure you at least did that. I mean, because I was thinking you were just going all the way through.
Not quite, but I definitely didn't. In the time that I played it, I didn't necessarily get like the best grasp on the geography. So I definitely found myself going in directions that maybe I didn't necessarily have to, but it wasn't like I was doing the full area again. It was just like, okay, I'm over here by this guy again. So, I mean, there's definitely areas for me to improve, but when I get the feeling of like, this isn't going to necessarily be for me, just because, like I said, the patience it takes for these bosses. And I know I'll watch some of these videos on YouTube of people playing Bloodborne, and they're just like annihilating these bosses. And I don't know if it's like an item that they're using or a thing that, I'm missing, or just skills that I'm missing or what have you. But it seems like there's a way that I should be able to beat this boss in relative ease. But with what the game is presenting me, it feels like it's just going to kind of be a slog to get through it. And I don't find it fun.
Yeah. Once I figured out what to do, I mean, like when I figured out like a strategy just to get by, to get minimum hits, I wouldn't say it was easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's just that I knew what to do not to get hit, but it just took too long. It just takes too long, because it's a point where, okay, now I know what to do. I don't want to keep doing this. Like, darn, man, I gotta keep doing it now. I got back up because of my stamina or something like that. Then, but like you said, you don't get like a whole lot of opportunities um, to hit him, so I can't take but so much damage from him when I do get a hit, and that sucks. I was like trying different things where I would. It was that one move you do where you it's like you're doing something special. Well, at least with I had to get the two weapon move. I forgot. No, they had the not two weapon. The fence. I'd use fencer. The fencer got his
Mm,
thing, and it's something like he does a special fencing forward or something. But it takes a while, so that guy might hit you. You know,
yeah.
so it didn't like I hit him, but then I get hit, and yeah. Yeah, it's like yeah. These are not my type of games. That's and it sucks because I want to play this, but they're not. They're not my type of games. Like I want to. Yeah, I want some difficulty when I play a boss, but like once I figure it out, I still want it to be fun too. I don't want to be
Yeah.
like you said, slog. Like okay, I know what to do, but it's just going to take a while. It's more of me just being my patience. Like that's really it is. Like, am I
Mm.
patient enough to keep doing this? Just keep sticking with this.
Yeah, because it
And
feels repetitive at that point. It's like I know
yeah,
what to do, but I just gotta like do this thing. Yet this boss is gonna take me 5 minutes to beat, and it's like that kind of sucks.
so but yeah, so yeah, so see, I don't, and that makes it so I don't get it. Like now, I really just don't get like at this point, I don't really get why these games are popular. As they are.
Yeah.
Like I feel like okay, you like these games, but how do you like God of War? Wouldn't I just feel like oh, this is just too easy or something, or this is too simple?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. All right. So that's all you played. You play anything else?
I also played
Do
the
you play-
Final Fantasy 16 demo, which like is very
yeah.
much the opposite of this Liza P demo for me because of the like extremely improved combat mechanics in this game. Because I think there's been talk of like one of the Devil May Cry developers or the what's that other company that does all the action games?
Oh, Platinum.
Yeah, Platinum. I think
Yeah.
some people from Platinum allegedly helped out with the combat mechanics in this game. It feels amazing. Like it really does. I'm not going to say it's like Devil May Cry necessarily, but it's kind of up there. It's from what this game used to be, or at least what I am familiar with these games being to now. It is drastically different, and some people may not like that. It's being a numbered Final Fantasy game. Maybe people are expecting it to be more of an RPG, but it feels like that ship has kind of sailed over the past couple of games. And now you're not at like this in between where it's like, oh, well, you're kind of getting this real time stuff, but it doesn't feel all that great. But you still got some of the turn based things. This is just like this is an action game basically, and there are some elements of the turn based stuff, but for the most part, it's just get up in there with your sword and do the business, and it feels good doing that business. It feels active. It feels like I'm not just waiting around to get hits in like Liza P or like a Bloodborne style thing. I'm genuinely impressed by that. The demo itself is like I think the first like hour and a half, 2 hours of the game is my understanding. I think you can even take your progress into the full game, which is nice because there is a lot of cutscene and downtime when you're not actually playing this game. I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game, so that's kind of understandable, especially the beginning of the game. So they're setting up a lot of the story. But at least there's voice acting. I'm not sitting there having to just kind of read everything and go along with that. But they do that. The combat itself is really good. Then they have what they call the icon battles, which is basically the summons in this game. It seems like each of the summons is inhabited within a single character. So far, I've seen like Ifrit and I've seen the Phoenix, and also like during the cutscene, you see like one of the women is possessed by like Shiva. So that stuff, the way it plays out in the demo, you're playing as the Phoenix and you're fighting Ifrit, and it almost feels like a Panzer Dragoon almost. Like you're basically not controlling too much of the movement. It's kind of like on this on rails sequence, but you're controlling the cursor as to where you're aiming your fireballs and stuff like that. That stuff wasn't all that engaging, but I've heard that some of the later icon battles are a lot more impressive than that. So that's good to hear. I mean, overall, I'm coming out of this demo very impressed by what this game is. But yeah, it's still not something that I'm like rushing out to play. I'm still, like I said, kind of whittling my way through Zelda, so I don't know what the next big thing is I'm gonna play. But I'm glad this turned out as well as it has. You know, reviews are looking pretty positive for it too.
Yeah. That's where I like that makes me want to play it more is because of that combat because I like those games like
Mm.
that. And so and I get it. I get why some people are probably pretty upset with it because of it's not like the true like a JRPG. Like it
Yeah.
seems like JRPG elements are almost gone now. Like it's the action game. Just it's like an action game with JR with RPG
Yeah.
and not the other way around.
Whereas, like, even the
So
Final Fantasy VII remake maybe split that difference a little more
yeah.
perfectly for those kind of people.
But like I'm just like out of curiosity, just like out of 15 when I played that, even though like the story wasn't there for me. So I'm curious about the story with this one. Would it be there for me? Uh, but yeah, but I know there's been some talk about like how it runs or something, like how like it's not really a big. I mean, for me, it's not a big deal. But you know, people like graphic horrors. You know, but I think it like either it doesn't do true 4K or it's not a constant 60 or something, and like it or it drops a lot more. Because I think a Digital Foundry did a video on this,
Mhm.
and they even said that this would have ran better on the Xbox Series X. Uh, listen, I don't know technical terms, so you have to watch that video of why that. But
Well, too bad you're never gonna see it there.
I know exactly. So I was like, why you even mention that? Why you mention that? You just mentioned for people for the Xbox to get on ponies to make fun of them, saying like, and then the ponies can just say, well, you're just not going to play it, so it doesn't matter. Uh, but yeah, uh, yeah, I mean, this, yeah, I still want to try it. I want to try it, just like Final Fantasy. Like, even though I turned out to not be like it just as much as other people did, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I mean, um, I still want to try this game out, just because I mean, it is Final Fantasy. It is like, you know, one of the biggest game franchises. It's the one that really got me really deep in games, Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
But I just don't have that same like excitement. Like, yeah, I really need to. Like, if I never play, it's not gonna be a big deal. Like,
Mm.
it's not gonna be a big deal to me. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out. Put it like this, I don't feel like even seeing what I see from this game, I still don't feel like I'm if I don't play it, I'm missing anything. So that's the thing. With that, you got anything else?
Nah, that's all I got.
All right. So I had some problems with my PC. Luckily, Daniel got that kind of fixed up for me. Thank you.
Kind of.
And so I've been playing out this, trying out all these sorts of games on Xbox Game Pass. So man, I should have wrote them down, but I remember some of the ones I did play. I know I recently did try Sea of Thieves,
Oh yeah.
the
Okay.
game. I don't know when the Monkey Island stuff comes on there. Because I was just hoping it was there then, but it
Yeah.
wasn't.
For some reason, I
And
think it's
still,
like
it's
mid July
pain.
or something.
Yeah. So it's still a pain in the ass to play that game by yourself, and I just stopped. I just got bored and just jumped off. something high and kill myself. And I was like, oh, okay, I was trying to kill myself, but I forgot that you take damage from jumping high. I was thinking like, oh, I just land.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I didn't even see anybody. I mean, that's the thing because the world is so vast and like you could possibly not see anybody, or maybe nobody's playing. I have no idea. I have no idea. So, but yeah, it's just like you. This is a game you have to play with people. Now, I think it seems like they make it easier if you want to join people. But honestly, I was just playing because it was one of those Game Pass requirements to get the Xbox points. So that's the only reason I was trying it out. Um, but yeah, it seems like, I mean, since I played it, so it's been a long time. Because this is like what, season 5, I think. Um, it seems like in the menu there's a place to, yeah, find a crew or something like that. So it was like, oh, okay, so you can find some people if you do want to try it out. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to commit, to a crew and I just leave them or whatever. It's just that this game. I mean, from what I see of what you can do in the game, it just looks it looks fun. I mean, it looks fun if you are if you have a crew. If you have a crew, I think you have a really great time with this game. It's just unfortunate they don't really have no single player elements. They do have it, because that Pirates of the Caribbean thing is still up there. That story mode, and it's just like, so it's like an actual story. Now I didn't try it, but I was still assuming that it would still be better to play with people because I'm just thinking like, do I still have to look on the map, like keep running back down the deck to look on the map where the fuck I'm going, to when I'm sailing my ship? Because they that's how they make it. It makes so that you can't really know what you're going unless you look on your map. But to look on your map, it's not like you pull it up the map. You got to actually go down um, into the quarters. So somebody has to tell you where you're going. Somebody has to tell you like, hey, go northeast and go northeast or something like that. And then it's too much to do by yourself. So that's why I didn't try to. I mean, one day I'll try to see if it's simple, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to be like you selling your ship. You still should have a crew with you. And that's what I wish they would do. Like they will make it so that, hey, if I'm by myself, I get my goddamn blind spell. Oh yeah, if that sounds different, I'm talking on my phone because I don't have my stuff hooked up right now. Yeah, I wish it would make it like, hey, I got a raft or a sailboat. I don't know, something where I don't have to. It's easier for a person who's only with one or two people can just use this small ship instead of like having that big sailboat
Yeah.
and
Just
trying to
give me a
manage that.
speedboat.
Yeah, well, yeah. Uh, what else did I play? Oh yeah, I finally tried Pentiment, and this is the Obsidian game. Sort of like almost like a point and click game. It's done in like this 16th century style, kind of European style art, where it's almost like a book, and you're playing in that time period also. Like you're an artist. You start out young because I think it goes through stages. I think it goes through 3 big stages. Only been through one stage. I just got to the part where I became like a middle-aged man. Like I'm just a young man, traveling artist, and I'm working at this abbey. And it really deals with religion and everything because it takes place in Bavaria during the 16th century, where apparently there was a lot of stuff going on. Like it was, I think, like religious changes, like people change, like changing the religion, and then you got also just ideas coming through. There was a lot of things going on, which causes a lot of problems with things like the town I'm in. You can see the start of the problems there, like with the abbey and the peasants. Like I heard some like raising the taxes and stuff like that. And you make choices in this game, like that really affects how the game goes, and it truly affects the game. So far, like I've seen it, like a murder happens, and you're trying to solve the murder, and so you have a set time to do anything you want to do. So, like if you do something really bad, it takes time. The day goes by. So your investigation, you need to pick what you want to treat, like to choose where to investigate, who to talk to, who to have dinner with, because when you have dinner, they'll talk and they'll give you some more clues. Um, you pick up clues, and also depending on what kind of character you chose at the beginning, because though you're a traveling artist, you can put your experience. Like, where did you start at? Did you start in France? Did you start in someplace in Italy? Did you start somewhere? Blah blah blah. And then based on that, your choices, that you also know that language too. Like you say,
Mm.
instead of just knowing, I guess I don't know what the fuck they were speaking. I don't know, speaking Roman or something like that. Because technically, it was still Roman. It wasn't Germany yet. Um, well, whatever language you're speaking now, you have that added to it. And also, whatever you studied in college extra, instead of just doing art, you'll have some knowledge of that. Like maybe you worked in medicine, so some things with medical stuff you have more knowledge too. And it helps, it changes the way you talk. Because I played about 2 playthroughs of the first section uh, of The Young Apprentice. Because I didn't like the choice I made of who I thought killed um, the Baron that came to visit. But thing is, what I realized is that well, at least right now, you don't. It doesn't seem like you know who truly did it. Like you pick somebody who you think did it, and based on how convincing you are to the representative who's coming here to decide to execute who's going to be executed for this murder, that then they'll pick it. I mean, now it's possible that you probably think this person did it, but you don't have enough evidence, and they end up killing the guy who's innocent. Because this guy
Oh, jeez.
who you think is innocent, like because he's one of the monks, and he was there when the guy was killed. So since he was the only person there, the abbot picked him as the
Mhm.
murderer. Um, thing is, yeah, you never get something that you can just decidedly know who did it.
Rough.
Um, so the first time I did it, I picked a guy, one of the peasants down there, because well, actually, I didn't give much evidence on him. I really had more evidence on the guy who was studying occult stuff, which is really against the the church.
Right.
So I was thinking it was going to kill him. But just me mentioning the other guy, I guess because he is part of the church, they gave him, even though they didn't like the occult stuff, they probably just said, well, he couldn't be a person who killed that man. They went with the other guy. Now, they also, I mean, people did know there is evidence on that other guy that could possibly make it look like he did it. I just didn't find it in that playthrough. I played another playthrough where I got more evidence, and yes, he he had what's the word I'm looking for? Motive. Yeah, he did have motive because of spoiler alert, one of his daughters had gotten pregnant by the burn, and he didn't. He basically rejected her, basically, because he was a married man already, but he wouldn't do nothing with her or the baby, and she ended up trying to get rid of the child on her own. And thing is, that's she ended up dying. Now people are saying it was a suicide, which if it's a suicide, the church will not bury you with the normal burial. She had to get buried away from them.
Right.
So that guy, her father, had motive to kill the Baron, and some people knew. They already knew that. So I didn't know that though. But when I second played through, I said, "Oh, so that's why they probably picked him. They probably picked him because of that." And plus, I said just a little bit. I said was enough, and they didn't pick the other guy because he he's part of the church. But the other playthrough, I made it more convinced. I didn't speak of anybody else because I gave all the people who I thought had motives to do this, that and why brother Pyro shouldn't be murdered. Shouldn't mean I said murdered. Should be executed for this crime. This time I just spoke on the other brother and said that, hey, this guy's been doing some occult stuff. He's been like talking to other gods and doing rituals and shit. I was like, and I ain't speak on anybody else.
Mhm.
So that, hey, he gets executed. Thing is, with the older man, he was more like he's a big older dude, like he's a strong dude. When he had got the guy whose daughter had got who got impregnated by the burn. When he got executed, like he just took it. Like he just went there. He was more stoic with it and just been like, you know what? I pray to God, and then the guy cut his head off. Like he just sliced it off. Now, when I did that, then the execution happened with one of the monks. He he was just crying, and he tried to run, and the guy punched him down, and then he just would not stop moving. So the guy, when he tried to cut his head off, he just got halfway through, and so he had to hack his head off. And I was like, oh,
that's awful.
God damn. And this is like, everybody's just watching. Like, this is what all the channels people watch, all the kids are watching. I was like, damn. I was like, yeah. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Now, you can pick to not watch. It's like, choose to watch or not watch. And I wonder what would happen if I said not watch. Would it put the camera view away from, like, my characters looking away? But I always put watch. But yeah, that guy would not stop moving. And I was like, oh my God, dude. I was like, yeah. He's like, I didn't do it. So, and based on that choice is how people will react to you. Like, spoiler alert, the abbot was mad when I said that brother did it. The other brother did it. He said, you can't come to this church anymore. When I had the Steiner, I think I forgot his name. I think it's Steiner or something like that. When he got killed, his wife had came to me and said, did you something to do with this? And he had a choice of what to say. And I just said, all I said was that I saw him arguing with him. I didn't think he was going to kill him. That's the choice I did. And then I don't know if she was still angry with me. She just said, oh, I can't believe they did this to him. Now, if I came back to, because I didn't play that playthrough again when I got older, because at that time, it fast forward to your middle age, you come back with your own apprentice.
Oh, wow.
And like, you're visiting town because you're coming back from somewhere else. And you visit town because the monk who you had, well, if you save them, so I'm guessing there's a chance he could still get executed based on your choices. But you come back because he passed away, and you kind of visiting his grave. And then I was talking to all the townspeople. This is the playthrough with I got the monk who was doing the ritual stuff got killed, and got executed. So the townspeople were like, they still like me and stuff like that. But one of the other monks, he was kind of upset with me, but I mean, he's an asshole anyway, so I didn't give a shit about him. I think most of the monks have had a problem with me. They're like, nobody seemed like they were bad. I mean, they don't give you really a chance to talk to the other monks after you picked who did it, but they all believe Brother Pyro didn't do it. Most of them, and then with the occult stuff, I would think they'd be like, "Yo, this guy's doing ritual shit, man. Fuck yeah, maybe he did kill him because I'm not gonna go into the details, but yeah, it is so cool though that how they do this, and like it makes it like, oh my God, I want to do multiple playthroughs of this game, and there's a lot there. There's no voice acting. That's the downside for me. Some people like that; they're okay with that. But they do have it where it's accessibility, where it'll read for you, and so that's cool. It just won't. It's just like the AI kind of reader, so it's not. It's going to be plain. And unfortunately, it reads everything. Where I wish it would just not like read like, "Hey, you're going to the large garden." It say large garden. Like every time you get there, large garden. I was like, "Oh, you have to read everything. I just want you to read when they talk." But they don't give you an option for that. But yeah, I like this. I mean, like it's kind of RPG-ish in that sort of way. It's like I guess it's like almost like the Telltale games and stuff, with the choices and stuff. It's not a lot of, it's not really action. Like the most action you do is like moving your character and searching. The art style, like I said, it looks like that kind of old 16th century book stuff, and it's kind of cool how when people talk, it's kind of like somebody writing in their text. And this game is it's really good, man. Like, yeah, I'm just surprised I didn't hear about it till very late last year. So yeah, like I definitely would have played this last year. if I had known. Or I wouldn't say I definitely played it, but I definitely would have been. I would have been like, "Yo, I gotta try this game out." I probably would have stopped something. But yeah, I was like, man, good job on this game. Like, it's not a huge, like, it's not one of those huge games, but it just has a lot there. Like that is very creative. It's very creative how they made this.
Yeah.
Um, Other games, I'm trying to think of something new I played. Something else I knew I played. Da, 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 da. I can't really think right now because I need to write it down.
I'm looking at the streaming stuff here. Did you talk about Soul Hackers at a previous time, or is that something new? Or is that
That's
something that you played a long time ago?
all right. Soul Hackers, yes, I played that because it was Soul Hackers is a Japanese RPG. The guys who did like some of the guys who did Persona, it has some of that Persona. What's the other game that's with the Persona guys? What's the other games they do?
Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, yeah, because all the monsters are from there. Like the Shin
Okay.
Megami Tensei, Persona, and this game, Soul Hackers, use all the same type of monsters. And the only reason I play is because you get Xbox points. Because they said, hey, try this, and if you something 9 times, you get like so many points. So I try it out because since it's like Persona, so maybe I like it. Nah, I mean it's just got some of those elements, but it's not something I really care to stick with. And this is the second one. So I don't know how this goes with the first one because the way this game starts, it doesn't feel like I need to play a second one. It doesn't feel like a continuation of the story. But it seems like some computer data is like some kind of world where these computer data became human, and they're like supposed to be because something happened that's happening that can destroy the world, and this is almost like I guess the version of heaven. I mean, this world's version of heaven is like a computer. So I guess the God made this computer data come to life. These two girls, and then they go into the real world. They help bring these people to life. They go into their soul. They hack their souls, basically. The girl hacked his soul to come back to life, so they can help stop whatever's happening. That's all I can say right now because I really pay too much attention to it. Maybe if you like that stuff, you'd be into it. I didn't really. I was just doing it for to get the Microsoft points, and that's what I did, and I
Gotcha.
completed. So, something else. Oh yeah, I did play a little bit of PlayStation. Since you got the PlayStation Plus, I shared it with you. The PlayStation Plus Extra, where you can, it's similar to Game Pass. So I played a little bit of Judgment because they had that, and yeah, this is definitely like Yakuza game. Like it definitely feels. And you're in the same place, Kamurocho, I think it is, or Kamaricho, or whatever it's called, the city. And it's just so funny. This city is always in the Yakuza games, and it was in Like a Dragon, and it's in this, and like now, like look at older Yakuza games, like look at the older ones. It's not as detailed, but it's still the city is still seeing it's still the same setup even now, and it's kind of cool because detailed and everything. But it's like, hey, I know this street. Like I was walking to the street, say where to go. I say, like I play this game so much recently that I know where locations are. Not specific locations, not like where a certain building. Like not now. Each game you're going through different buildings within the city, but if someone says like a street or something, I know like okay, I know the vicinity of it. Or when somebody
Nice.
says like, "Oh man, this place is a maze," I know it's like, "Oh, that's where the two bars are at." I usually go to in Yakuza because that it is like a maze walking through that town, that part of the city. So that, but I only played like very little Judgment. I'm like still at the beginning. Oh, hold on. All right, sorry about that. And but yeah, the game you play as a detective, a private detective who was a lawyer, but one of your clients who you got off. Like now Japan in Japan, it's like they say it's a 99% conviction.
Conviction rate, yeah.
So hey, I was like seemed pretty damn good because I got somebody off. But once I got somebody off, it's just like hours later. I don't think it was a full day later. He kills his girlfriend.
Jeez.
And
Like
so
definitively?
he's been no. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't
Okay.
see him. It's been told. I've been told. I went there and you see all this blood on him and stuff. So I guess, and then fast forward some years or something, and now you, it looks like you quit the lawyer gig. You know, you still got the little lawyer badge, which I didn't know they were real things. I thought it was just something just made up for got that Phoenix right, but apparently they are. So I was like, holy shit, that's what you get. You get a lot. That's what Japanese, to get these little tiny badges. um, so yeah, So but I became a private eye. The main character comes a private eye, and that's how it starts. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with that case because he did talk to. I was talking to somebody. The character I play as, they were talking about that case. The guy, he said, has he been executed? He said, nah, he hasn't been executed yet. Um, so I'm thinking something's going to happen. It's going to seem like that guy didn't do it or something like that. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know, but yeah, I want to play some more of this because I do like those games. The guys who make them,
Yeah.
man, they seem to be these games seem to be they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun and they look cool, man. And this one they have it where they make the fighting easier. Like they have it say, hey, you want the simple controls where like, hey, you can do the combos easier. I said yes, definitely. So so yeah, so yeah, so now when I'm playing this, oh yeah, I'm doing all the cool moves like and stuff like that. When I'm playing the game, because I really just like the story. I'm out the fighting, but I just like I don't want to spend too much time in this game because I can't cheat. So I
Yeah.
was like, well, I gotta I'm gonna do it this way, so I can to get through these fights, not struggle. But yeah, so that's what I mainly been playing. I mean, those are the big things. I know I forgot something, but I'm trying to get through this podcast. I'm about to go somewhere. So, but where we at here? I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment,
Yep.
and we're back. And now we're flashbacking to. I'm saying flashbacking to already. I mean, well, we're at the flashback segment now, obviously. So yeah, we haven't been in a flashback segment in a while, so we got some games to speak on. So let's get through this. We're flashback into 2013, and we got State of Decay came out. This game, it kind of came out of nowhere for me personally, even though maybe we talked about it, but I mean, no, we didn't. This is 2013. We didn't do the podcast. Yeah, yeah, because I didn't even know this game's coming out. I just saw it on Xbox Live Arcade one day, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm trying to remember how did I play it. I think did I buy it? I think it was maybe it's a sale. I'm not sure. I played it like a little. Not, I want to say late, but like maybe months later. Uh, and I liked it. And I was hoping it was like multiplayer with it, but it wasn't. It was just single player. But it's a survival horror. I mean, that's survival as in like the survival games, not like Resident Evil survival horror. Like you actually have a town with people, and you can rescue people. Then y'all can live in this one settlement place where you have to put up gates to get away from the zombies. And you gotta get materials, food. So it's like that survival game where you got people get hungry. You got to try to keep people alive, and you're controlling like this whole town. I think you switch. I want to say, can you switch the characters? I know they can come with you. I'm not. See, I forget about the first one. I don't know if you stood at the same character or you can switch between them. Like if your character dies, you can go if somebody else in the settlement and be them. I don't remember children. I don't think there was children. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't remember that. But yeah, you could. But it was cool for the time. Like I really liked it. Uh, and eventually two came out. But for some reason, it just didn't feel the same. And it felt it's what I asked for, but maybe I didn't like that survival stuff as much as I. Yeah, I think it was like the management and stuff like that. Like maybe that's the reason why they didn't. Maybe they didn't do multiplayer then. Well, actually, I wouldn't say that. But for me, because it's too much management. So it's like, I gotta. I mean, I guess you could be into that. You tell somebody, hey, y'all go up, we go out get some food, or hey, I go out get some food with somebody, and you go out get some food with somebody, and you bring it in. I guess it could be fun like that. But for me, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's too much work. It's too much
Yeah.
work for a game. So yeah. I'll say the kid, yeah, it was fun. It was cool. And we're getting a 3, so we'll see how that goes. Um, Mount Your Friends came out.
Yeah.
Is wait a minute. What is Mount Your Friends? What the
I
hell is
don't
this?
know if we've ever really talked about this game, but it's basically it started out as like an XNA indie thing, so like one of those super indie self-published things on the Xbox. And it's basically like these stick figures, but they're little thicker than stick figures, and they're like super buff. They've got like abs and stuff, but they're very simplistic character models. And you're on this 2D plane, and there's a goat in the middle of the level, and you're basically controlling all of your different limbs, and you're trying to get to the highest point. So you get on the goat, and then you stretch your arm out, and then your friend takes his turn, and he climbs up the goat and then climbs up you and stretches out. And you're essentially just trying to get to the top of the tower every time, and there's like a set limit amount of time that you have each turn. And you can do things like stick your arm out to the left, so it's like now harder to like swing around your arm and get up to the top. It's really a lot of fun. It's super like simple, but it's also really clever and a lot of fun if you have multiple people playing it.
That dick game where you could use your penis to
Yep.
mount on people?
Also you got your junk flailing around.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the same game?
I think so. We might be talking
Oh,
about the same one.
oh, because I think that's the big part, Daniel. I think that's the big part about the game. I think so.
Nah, you gotta keep the clothes on, Don. You gotta keep the clothes on.
No. You still have your like speedo on
Yeah,
or
you have a
whatever.
speedo. You have like a little jock strap on.
Yeah, you don't see the dong,
You do
but
if you're
yeah.
doing it right. You gotta get those mods, Dominic. You gotta get the mods.
All right. So what else we got? We got here's a big one. The Last of Us came out 10 years ago, and we got a remake of the remake.
Yep. We got a remaster and then a remake all within 10 years.
Yo, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
We also got a TV show within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the TV show, that's all right. Now the remaster, that's okay too. I'll give it the remaster. Or you know what? Put it like this: the remake will be fine if they didn't ever do a remaster.
yeah.
I would have been okay with it.
Because then at least it would have been like 2 generations separated, right?
Yes. But now one generation. I mean, one whole generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like you can say like, oh look, they remade The Last of Us with new controls and stuff. That's nice. But it's like you already did a remaster, and it's like you work on another game. Like, that's the thing. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you just beating this horse? And, oh man, but not beating it. But milking the. It's more like milking a cow. You milk the shit out of this cow. But yeah, this game came out. I was excited for this because I did like the excuse me, I did like Uncharted. So I was excited for this game. I said, "Oh, look at this! Like not zombies, but some plant monsters, which essentially are zombies." But and it looked great. I mean, just like the games do. And but unfortunately, when I finally did play it, I actually watched it on YouTube before I played it because the latest newer Naughty Dog games are more like movies now. So I was like, yeah, I'll just watch it. And watching it, it was great. Great story, everything. So I was like, yeah, I only want to play it now. Playing it, I'm not really big on the play style. I'm more of an action guy. I don't want to do a whole lot of sneaking. and because I'm impatient, so that's not my thing. So that's unfortunate. Like, you know what? I think I would like to play this on the PC. I think I would like, yeah, I think I would like probably that because I can just cheat, and maybe I think it's probably a cheat where you're invisible and I can just probably just kill everybody. Um, so yeah, I probably like it more then because I just don't. Well, yeah, I just don't want to keep sneaking everywhere and still managing equipment too. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
got managed stuff and I have limited things. I say I can deal with the limited stuff, but I don't want to be keep sneaking. I don't know. What else we got here? We got Deadpool, um, the game, which eventually came out again. You know, there
Yep.
was I mean, they released it again, and I don't know was it considered an HD version or just a re-release?
I think it was like
I
an
don't.
HD version. Like they scaled it up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Because of the movie and the popularity of Deadpool, they was like, hey, we got to get something from it. We came out before the movie came out. Yeah, because this is before Deadpool was really a known quantity, I could say. Like, if you were in the comic book space, you knew who Deadpool was. If he wasn't, you didn't know who he was, essentially. But then I guess if you saw some the commercial stuff, you see like, oh, look at some Marvel people in here. Like the character who talked for him, was it Doogie Howser?
No, I think it was Nolan North that talked for him.
Oh, Nolan North. Nolan North. Oh, nah. Who? Damn. Doogie Howser calling somebody funny.
Matt Hazard,
Oh, Matt Hazard. That's what
or
it
the
was. Oh,
enemy
okay.
for Matt Hazard. He was in one of those games, I think.
Yeah.
That's the latest one I could think of.
I mean, Shadows of the Dam. He was in that, right? Wasn't he the sword? Who was the sword in that one?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought that was him. But anyway, but yeah, he was bad. Yeah. So okay, Nolan North. Yeah, Nolan North. Yeah, because I remember somebody mentioned that like how Nolan North was. He was fine. Like when I look at the cutscenes, they're funny. I thought they were pretty cool.
Mhm.
Now in the game, you said you got 60% on Metacritic, and that was the highest rating, and that was on PC.
Yeah.
So that's not good. I guess the gameplay wasn't fun, but like watching it when I was watching somebody play it, I was like, yo, this game is pretty funny. I guess it just sucks playing it. I wonder. But yeah, so this game came out, and then we also had Rogue Legacy came out. Now you can talk about this because still, I mean, I remember you told me about it, and I forgot it. I forgot.
Yeah, so basically Rogue Legacy is a roguelike game where you're kind of on this 2D plane just like a lot of them, but you're this basically a knight. And each run if you die, then you basically play as your next of kin or your child. So they get different traits. Some are inherited, and some are just kind of like wacky things, like oh, this one's gonna be colorblind, where everything's black and white, or you have some other kind of genetic malfunction or something where now you're upside down, or you've got like tunnel vision. So it adds kind of a twist to it. You carry over some of the money that you get in the castle, so then you can buy upgrades and buy different classes. There are ones that are stronger and slower, or quicker and a little more agile. It's just a lot of fun. It's available basically everywhere. I bought it at some point on PC and then ended up, I think, playing most of the time on the Vita because that was a great place to play that game. Rogue Legacy 2 is out now, which didn't really catch me quite as much, but the first one's a whole lot of fun.
All right, man. Yeah. So now that is it for 2013. So we're gonna go back 20 years to 2003, and we got Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut.
Yeah.
So this is the Sonic Adventure with some extra stuff. And so Sonic 2 had already came out before on the GameCube.
Mhm.
So this is kind of going backwards, but hey, they made up for it by saying, hey, look, you can get the director's cut. So
Yep.
now
More whales. Now there were 2 whales chasing you on that pier.
Yeah. exactly. Yep, those killer whales. Yeah, they were going after you, just like they're going after those yachts out there. And so,
Nature's fighting back,
but
Dominic.
but yeah, I never. I mean, I've played Sonic Adventure, but not on the GameCube. I played it on what have I played? I played on the Xbox. I played it on the original Dreamcast. It's just I never really liked that version of
Yeah.
Sonic. I never really got into that. So how'd you feel? Did you get this game when it came out?
No, I'm trying to think if I bought Battle or rented it. I think I just rented Battle when it came out because it was like huge monumental thing that Sonic is finally on a Nintendo console, and I kind of got swept up in that. Even though, like, looking back, I definitely know it's not a good game, and even then, I think there were definitely like, oh, I like these levels, but I don't like these levels. Like, why am I playing as Tails in a mech suit? Kind of stuff like that. But yeah, the first one, the only real experience I ever had with it was just the demo with the whale in like stores and stuff.
So what else we have here? We got Advance Wars 2, Black Hole Rising. I know you're a big Advance Wars fan, so
Yeah. So honestly, like, I don't know how I felt about this game versus like the first game. This one took a little darker tone. The villains are from this like dark, almost gothic province or something like that. And I mean, from what I recall, it was basically for the most part just more Advance Wars. So I played it quite a bit, but I don't recall too much specifically about it nowadays.
all right. So I don't know if I played it. I know you let me borrow Advance Wars, but
I don't remember which one.
yeah, I mean I think I played the first one. I know I played the first one.
Okay.
I don't know if I borrowed the second one from you. We have Jet Set Radio. This is worth mentioning on the game on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, real quickly, it was made by Vicarious Visions, who are the same people that made Tony Hawk for the Game Boy Advance and did a fantastic job with that. And they basically did the same thing, the isometric view, you skating around, but they also made it look cell shady, just like a Jet Set Radio game did. So it was pretty cool for the time.
Radio. That's what you're saying.
What's that?
This is the best version of Jet Set Radio. That's what
it might be.
I mean, I'm saying. I mean, it could be. I mean, because Jet Set Radio. I mean, what was that like? Around the sevens or something?
Probably somewhere around there. It was a game that, like, from afar, always looked a lot cooler than it ended up being when I actually got my hands on it.
Yeah. All right. So what else we have here? We got where I'm at. Star Wars. Wait a minute. Come on. Isn't it?
Nope. It's the full game.
It's the full game. Oh,
yep. It had a subtitle.
And Expire Divided. I did not ever know it was a subtitle to this game.
Me neither. But this is the original, Dominic, the original MMO set in the Star Wars universe.
I know. Everybody, yeah, like now they would talk about, first open world game. So it's guys like, wait a minute. What about us? Open world? We're open worlds.
There were so many people that got married in that game, Dominic.
Exactly. I just always see that. I always see that their marriages is like, oh god. Yeah, but yeah, it was cool. It seemed cool, but I was kind of jealous. I could never like play this, and I was always hoping that Sony would get it because it was Sony that published it, right? I believe
think it might have been, yeah. I guess a year
like
or something.
Like Arts, because I was like, oh man, since they got EverQuest up here, they can get Star Wars Galaxies, and I was like, I'll probably play that one. And yeah, because I didn't have a PC that can play it.
Yeah. But
yeah, I never got a chance to play it, and now I know I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. I mean, I was better off with the BioWare one. But yeah, but it was popular for a while, and I forgot the reason it shut down was because of the buyout, right? I mean, yeah, licensing, like because BioWare was about to do one, and I don't think they didn't shut down because like, oh, nobody's playing or anything.
Yeah, I think effectively that's why.
Yeah, and that's really the reason why it did close. Because look at some of these games, like some of these MMOs are still going on. So I'm like, ain't no way in hell this Star Wars one was not having people play. Yeah, and like, yeah, and that's kind of sad too, because like one had shut down. I mean, because it's like they made this world and people like to play. I mean, yeah, Bioware doing their own. I kind of wish Bioware didn't. I kind of wish they would have just made a nice Old Republic fucking game, a regular game. Honestly, I mean, that now looking back, I definitely wish they did that shit. God damn. But nah, and I mean those CG videos, I guess, man, those CG videos they had of that game, trailers, man, they were awesome, but nothing like the fucking game. All right, what else we got here? We got Dino Crisis 3. Yeah. This is the first one of it. It released in Japan first, but hey, they got a third one. I did not care for this one because it was on my Xbox, so I said fuck them, and I was happy when I saw that it sucked. So I was like, oh, I'm not missing anything. So I'm not missing out, because I was upset that it became like a first party, well, not first party, but exclusive. I was like, damn, man. I said, like, Capcom's doing exclusive games for everybody. Like, hey, this game's only going to be on GameCube, and this game's only going to be on PlayStation. This game's only going to be on Xbox. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? But yeah, Dino Crisis 3, it did not turn out to be really good. I forget the reasons why, honestly, because when I look at the previews of it in magazines, I was like, hey, it looks good. I didn't really care for the Cyber Dinosaurs. I wanted more like Jurassic Park than Future, because I think it was like supposed to be the future or something. And I didn't care for that. I was like, I like the Jurassic Park, kind of vibe to it. Like I don't want like cyber dinosaurs. Like that's not what I'm here for. Like I like that in like an action game, but not in kind of survival horror game. But then Dino Crisis 2, I guess that was more action, and I guess they were going that direction. Yeah. And yeah, I never touched this game though. Have you ever played it?
No.
Yeah, it hasn't even been released. Has it been released, like re-released, like I know the other games, they were on PlayStation.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I'm surprised Capcom doesn't at least do an HD of just like the original one or something. Done.
I'd really like to see that series revisited. I mean, that's why it's so weird that they're doing that Exoprimal thing instead of, especially with the success that they've had with remaking the Resident Evil games. Like, why not throw one of these in there, give it a try, and shake it up a little bit?
Exactly. I would love to see this in like how Resident Evil is, man. I mean, good God. I mean, I'd be scared shitless, but it's dinosaurs. All right, what else we have here? We got Beautiful Joe, man. This game was so jealous when I first saw this game for the GameCube. Like in the magazine, I was just like, oh, this looks like a nice little cartoon. It was only on GameCube, so I was like, oh man, I hope it sucks. But then I saw that it got a nice decent score, so I was mad. And then I saw like a little gameplay of it at a GameStop or something. And I was like, oh my God, this thing looks awesome. and I was so happy that Capcom, it finally was coming to PS2. When I saw it in the magazine and said, hey, Beautiful Joe's coming to PS2. Oh my God, I was so happy, man. I got that shit. And I don't know if it came at full price. I know I got it used, but I just feel like I paid out. I don't think I paid full price for that game. But anyway, yeah, I played the shit out of that game. Like that game was fun as hell, man. Like yeah, Beautiful Joe was awesome. I did end up getting 2 also. But I got that. I think I got that cheap because it was a lot later. It was a lot later. But I don't remember much. But Beautiful Joe 1, I know I played a whole lot of. I was really into that shit.
Yeah, that game was incredible. I mean, the art style and just the mechanics of like the time rewind stuff and having that all. It definitely played with a lot of different concepts.
Yeah, and darn, yeah, this is like after high school when I played, because I forgot when it came on PS2. But I know it was after high school for me, because I played it in like after my first year of college, because that's when I touched it. All right, So we're leaving in 2003, and so now we're going back 30 years to 1993, and we have Link's Awakening was released in Japan in 1993.
Yeah. Best game
So
ever,
go ahead.
Dominic. That's all.
It's, so you like this better than what's the one on Super Nintendo called?
A Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
I'm a lot more fond of it. Like if I had to it was the first one that I really spent a lot of time with. So I'm more nostalgic for Link's Awakening than I am Link to the Past. I like Link to the Past a lot. I think it's a good game, obviously. But if I had to just like replay one, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be Link's Awakening.
That's my favorite. My favorite Zelda is, I think it's Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And then it's the CD one. The CD one. I like that one. Yeah. So now we go back 40 years. They don't really usually go back this far, but this is when 40 years ago, Capcom was established, and this is when they got their start. I wonder what the first game was. It's probably a game I don't even know about, and probably nobody cares. But
it's called Mega Man, Dominic. How dare you? Respect the legacy.
I just figured people didn't care until Street Fighter 2. Because I was thinking, like, it must not have been a Street Fighter. It must have never been a Street Fighter, because I don't even remember that. I don't even remember Street Fighter. But yeah, this is when they started 40 years ago. So that's huge. Yep, and they're still here. They're still one. Hey, man, I mean, there's a lot of companies that's been starting, and they've been gone. You know, you got Acclaim. You got that one with the B on it.
Oh, Hudson. Yeah, Hudson Soft.
Yeah, you got Hudson. Yeah, Hudson Soft. Yep. Sierra.
Oh man,
they got bought out. Well, I think they merged or got bought out.
Like Disney or something.
You had what else you had? Technically, LucasArts had a thing, and then they just kind of went away, and now they're just giving the brand out there. It's not really no people were. There's been a lot of companies. But Capcom, man, they have titles, and they had some troubles. Man. That things were looking dire, but then they
just started remaking their Resident Evil games, and then everything went better for them.
Yeah, it really, like, now look back, I'm thinking, like, why were they in trouble? It's like it almost had to be self-inflicted, man. Because I can't believe it was the people just weren't buying your games, and if they weren't buying your games, it's probably because they weren't good.
Yeah, there's definitely that like lull there where they weren't putting out anything that people were looking to play, for sure.
Yeah, like they still have it. I mean, they put the latest Mega Man. They had that Mega Man supposed to be like a revival thing, but it didn't do nothing. Like because the guy that did Mega Man came out of the game, and that was disappointment. That kind of sucked all around then in the whole thing. They should have just, God, I don't get it. Like they could have just kept doing the Mega Mans like they were doing instead of like, oh yeah, it's nice you did 9, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna do 10 the same fucking way, and I was like, come the fuck on. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, but there's a lot of memories of Capcom, mostly Street Fighter for me, because that's like real. I mean, everybody loved Street Fighter back in the day. I know my brother played Mega Man. Like I used to watch him, and I know my friend who used to live across the alley from me, he played Mega Man a lot too, man. He was in the Mega Man. He was in the Mega Man and Street Fighter. Like he was hardcore in those games. Then you had Darkstalkers, which I didn't know about that till Darkstalkers 3. Yeah. And then I started saying, oh, look, Felicia. Then and then you got like we just said, Beautiful Joe, man. Well, not Dying Crisis 3, but Dying Crisis 1 and 2.
Lost Planet.
The Curse of Resident Evils. Lost Planet. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of shit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Capcom has done. That in the arcades too. They were just everywhere. All right. So that's it for the flashback segment. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So first up, real quick, we got Immortals of Avium. That's that kind of first-person Magic game that we saw most recently at the Summer Game Fest. That was coming out July 20th, so just, the end of this month. But now it is getting pushed back a month to August 22nd, I guess, basically for some polishing. Hopefully that game will turn out all right. It seems decent, and with a little more polish, maybe it'll get over the line there. So we shall see how that goes. In some other news, Dominic, it finally happened. Xbox has increased the price of their systems $100, basically in line with the Sony offerings, mostly around the world, not in the US. But the thing we are seeing an increase on here in the US is the price of Game Pass. So Ultimate is going from basically $15 a month to $17 a month. What do you think?
Well, being as though I'm just sharing yours, and not paying anything, it's all right with me.
You get locked out, Dominic.
No, it kind of sucks. Like, I'm kind of hoping that, like, if Redfall was like a great game, and then I'll be like, you know what, they starting to put some quality out there.
Yeah,
like good on Xbox. I mean, it says I would say like I really like it, but I was like, hey, we know our news going up, but look like they're really changing. No, they're changing. I mean, I guess you can say that about their recent showcase, but it's still not a game, you know.
But they've been showcasing stuff for the last 6 years now that they haven't released.
So now the argument could be that that's all subjective. I mean, which it is. It's like, hey, what you like doesn't mean what everybody else like. Just because it's not your so-called AAA good game, hey, maybe I like games that's out there. Well, which I do, but we all know that's the selling point, though. The selling point is usually the AAA games, and the thing is, you haven't seen none of the new ones. Well, the most recent one was Halo, and there was some disappointment with that. But then between that and now, what has there been? So coming up with going up in price, it's like I kind of want you to go up in price. I was like, hey, okay, say you're raising a price, but something comes with it, and not necessarily a game, but something else, something to make it doesn't feel as bad, like it's just a increase in price.
Yeah, I mean, even you saying earlier that the idea that maybe the family plan was going to come out alongside a price increase, that made me sad at the time, but now it's kind of like, man, yeah, I would have at least taken that. Now we just got the price increase and we didn't even get the family plan stuff. So at least there's a way to kind of minimize the increase there.
Yeah, see, and I think that's the problem. Like, I want something. It should be something positive with the negative, And unfortunately, like I said, it didn't come along a game with this price increase, and it didn't come along with, like you said, like another plan, like something that say, hey, but this is so you got something that could be good that's cheaper if you got multiple people or something like that. You know what I mean? On the Game Pass. Which, I want them to, I need that family plan. Like how much more testing you gotta fucking do, man? I mean, come on, man. Just get the US in this. Get us into this.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, the other thing about it is it's like you and I were talking about this a little bit last week when we didn't record, but to me, this almost feels like a measure that maybe they felt like they needed to do before the Activision deal closed, because they've been talking all this stuff about oh yeah, once we get the Activision games on there, we're not going to increase the price. It's like, that's because we had plans this entire time to increase it before this closes. Ha ha ha. So maybe from a business standpoint, they felt like they needed to do this now and not after they were able to actually show something, because theoretically, if this Activision deal closes, and we're getting at the point where it's either going to have to close or they're going to pay some hefty fines, for basically not, I think they would have to pay Activision a certain amount of money if they don't close this deal before. But it sounds like with all the court ruling stuff coming up that it sounds like it's going to happen, one way or the other, at least for all of the customers outside of the UK.
Yeah. Okay. So this whole court case, it has been crazy, but it's been great too, because I love looking on Twitter. Like people talking about it on Twitter, man. It's been fun. So yeah, like it, but it does come off as just like Xbox versus Sony. Like Nintendo, not really about much. But not really. And that's where it comes to be weird. It's like, wait a minute. Like, what's the argument? So is the argument you think like does anybody seriously think that Xbox, like, as of right now, like they could just jump up and be the gaming leader or something? Like they'll just be, they just gonna have everything, and like they're just gonna just destroy the gaming space. Like even if potentially, it's just that I feel like this having Activision now, yes, like having Activision and King, I mean that's a whole lot of money for Microsoft. That is.
Yeah.
But how is this? Like I haven't heard a big explanation of how it hurt the consumer, except for what might could happen. Nothing that's really to prove that it will happen. Like, like in this, we just talking the gaming space. Because some people they look at Microsoft and say, "Oh, but the Xbox is not their big money maker, blah blah blah," and stuff like that. So they just say the company. But I was like, "But y'all don't do that with Sony. Y'all just talking about the PlayStation." And say, "Y'all, Sony does other things too."
Yeah, but they lose money in all of those places, whereas Microsoft makes money in theirs.
Them. But look, listen, okay, fine, they lose money, but that's on them. They were part of TV.
100%. Yeah.
They're part of TV, movies. I mean, they got hands in a lot of shit too. So it's like these are just two. Like one company makes more than the other, but don't look at it like these are like, one's a mom and pop or something like that. Some shit.
Absolutely not.
Nintendo's the only one who's basically just Nintendo. Like is that they're the only ones. But it's but you gotta counteract with what Sony does. Like yes, people have been doing this for years in consoles, like buying even third parties. Like, hey, you just stay up here. You remember Nintendo was doing that shit basically, and all these companies they do it. And I get it. Like, you don't want to be like somebody just buys everybody, like, because then if they get everybody, then the competition is not really competition, because some customers are gonna have to go to them. I don't know this deal will do that though. That's the thing. I haven't seen proven that it will do that. Like, yes, it will make Microsoft money, but it doesn't. I don't know if it makes it so that everybody who had it, like, nobody's gonna want a PlayStation anymore and go over. I mean, yes, some people are gonna go over to see, like, look, man, I want to play this new Blizzard game now, or I want to play Starfield. I'm gonna get me an Xbox. I mean, that's gaming though. Like, that's just what it is. So I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, because right now, everything about this deal seems more consumer friendly than against the consumer right now.
Right.
Like, even if you're a guy who just has a PlayStation, like, I just have a PlayStation. Like, obviously, I'm going to want every game, all the games to be on the one system I have. But ideally, you will want the other competition to actually have decent games, because it forces your system to stay competitive, to stay being great, because they will not do it. Like, you've seen it you see it in the gaming world. When football is just EA, this is what happened. We see what happened. Look, what people thought would happen, it didn't happen right away, because the first couple years, it was all right.
Yeah.
Because Madden was already good. It was still already good. But when they got to that new Xbox generation, they said they just freaking they were like
Phoned it in.
they phoned it in hard. They phoned it in hard. And it's just ridiculous. Just like well, with baseball, I would say that yes, MLB The Show has done a good job, but you know what? The game hasn't changed much for going on almost a decade. I'm probably a little less than a decade, but still, it's like if there was competition, this game would be a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Like some of this stuff is the same shit. They finally got new announcers last year, because those announcers were saying the same shit for a while, and I was like, oh my god, they're just saying different names now. Um, like these announcers, it feels good because it's fresh because they're new, but yeah, it's you see that, so you do want competition. And thing is, to say it's not competitive now, uh, is like it's me. Yeah, I can say I don't know. I mean, it's competitiveness is kind of a minimum. It's really on Sony's side. Yeah, I mean, like Sony's they got like basically a lot of the games. Game Passes is really the big deal on the Xbox side. It's not really a particular game. Uh, but people argue that well, Xbox has got to make their own games. It's like that's a different argument technically. Like, and that's an argument of I don't know. I don't know. That's some type of like I guess I don't mean artistic, but like you feel like oh they got to make their own studios make better games instead of buying other studios. But I don't. Why does that matter? I just don't. I never got why that mattered. Like, well, Xbox, all they can do is buy, and they can't just make their own. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, does that okay? I mean, that you can be criticized on that, but why does that matter though? Unless I'm getting a game.
Yeah. I just need them to not break the things they buy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the problem is they when they buy studios and then they just completely gut them or close them like what a lot of what EA was doing there for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, where's Westwood? Where's what else? What else they had? Well, Vivacious. Oh, no, Vivacious was what we call it? Activision. Well, they're doing other shit.
The one that did
Uh,
Dead Space, whatever that one was called. Volition, not Volition.
Yeah, that's what it was. No, but
No, it's
Volition
they're
is
some mercenaries guys.
Rift Action. They did Rift Action. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, you don't want that to happen. But I mean, Sony has bought
Visceral, that's
studios.
what it was.
I think it's all the studios that people talk about. Like Naughty Dog was bought. It wasn't a Sony. It just had Crash Bandicoot was exclusive to it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It wasn't like Naughty Dog was exclusive to Sony. It wasn't like that way. It was just they
Right.
chose.
Same like
platform.
Insomniac. They're Xbox 360 Insomniac games.
Exactly. They didn't buy Insomniac. They got the game, but they didn't buy Insomniac. It's I don't get what. It's not so. It's whatever. I mean, I get it. I mean, you could be mad. That's fine. But as long as that deal goes through, I'm okay. That's all I'm saying. You can be angry. You can say that, hey, Microsoft, they just have to buy. Like that's a bad thing on their part. When I'm thinking like, yo, I just want games. Like I don't care how you get them. I just want them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, not about nefarious means or nothing, but just how companies do. I'm like, you get the good games, you get a good game. Like I don't care how you got it to be on your system. I just want good games. So yeah, and thing is, if PlayStation has something similar to what Game Pass has, as in that I can play it anywhere, basically,
Mhm.
And I can even stream it too on a reasonable price. Man, I'll yeah. I mean, then it'll be a different story. Then it'll be a point where like, no, I don't want this. But thing is, I know what Microsoft says, hey, all first party games are going to be available on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at like, oh, that means all those Blizzard games going to be up there. So
Yep.
hell, this is what I want. I want I want to play these games. And Sony, oh yeah, the other problem with Sony's like the plus, we talked about this before, but like with their with all the freaking tiers and then like things of that nature. I mean, when you go up there, they have a lot of games though. I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do.
yeah, they have a ton of games. The only problem is that you don't know when games are going to go. I want to say all the classics are just going to stay, but thing is, like, their first party games go away, and I'm like, which one's staying and which one's going? It's like, why are your first party games not just staying?
Yeah, like you've waited the 6 months or whatever to put them up there. Like, why can't they just stay there now?
Oh, I would rather wait longer. I say, okay, I'll wait. I'll wait a year. I just want them up there for when you put it up there, it stays up there. I don't want it to be where I have I have the PlayStation Premium, and I'm thinking like, oh, I want to play this other game first, because this game's going to be here. I'm going to play this third party game because I know that the first party game is going to be here. I'll play that later, but you take away your first party games, so it's like, yo, it's like I don't. Now I have to hurry up because I don't know when you're going to take it away. Is it going to stay or is it going to go?
Yeah.
Or at least for your first party, can you at least just say, hey, this is what we here for blah 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 time, and then I'll know.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's not like we're complaining about games coming and going. That happens on Game Pass, but for the most part, that's not happening with the first party offerings.
Yeah, exactly. At least I know. Yeah, I know they're going to be there. So that just helps with my decision when I play certain games. Like Pentiment, I think I would have played that whole lot sooner, but then I realized, oh, it's Obsidian. I see. I was like, oh, I thought it was like I didn't realize they were ones who made it. So now I'm like, oh, it's going to be here. So yeah, I'm still playing it.
Yeah.
So that's why I was in a rush for this year to play it. Earlier this year, but that's really the with Sony is like having streaming service to be everywhere, and their first party games. I mean, that like they don't have to. I mean, this is something I would like. Like they don't have to because they're the leader. They're the system leader. You know, if they're fine with what things going on now, then yeah, you go ahead. But that's the reason why I favor Xbox really.
Yeah.
Like if that was a younger me, like if that was probably, I don't know, in my 20s, maybe I would still favor Sony. I probably would favor Sony. Like over, I'll probably just be like, I'll pay for the extra PS extra because I still could play the Sony games and things of that nature. Maybe I would. It's just that I don't know. Just the Game Pass just being more available and it's just more customer friendly. I mean, like it's more consumer friendly because and then like how you even like picking the games, like going through PlayStation to pick games, like that menu system still sucks.
Yeah. Their store sucks, and that not really being separate from the Game Pass selection or the PlayStation Plus collection selection. It sucks. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I do favor the deal. Yeah, and I hope they get that going. And it's like, look, we neither of us are like people who root for a cause or whatnot, and like we root for what benefits us, you know.
Yeah.
So
As
that's
far as
just
I'm
what it is.
concerned, this deal is in my best interest because I might not have any interest in playing Diablo 4, but you know what? I might get Diablo 4 for free if this deal closes, and I might give it a try.
Exactly.
Also, I think Phil Spencer is more likely to bring back Tony Hawk than any of these other chuckle fucks.
Come on, Bobby Kotick, man. He was trying to get it back, man.
Sure.
He let them do the remakes, man.
He let him make the one remake and then turned him into a Call of Duty studio or whatever. Or no, Sent him to World of Warcraft, right, or something like that. They're
I
helping
forgot
out
what it.
Blizzard.
But you should have bought 2 copies.
Should have bought 2 copies. So, all right, Dominic, real quick, we'll run down some of the kind of interesting things that came out of this trial that are kind of unrelated to the deal actually closing. So first up, we got Jim Ryan. Apparently, he's got some emails out there saying basically he is saying to his superiors that he is not really concerned too much about the Call of Duty exclusivity deal. It's not going to affect their business too much, which obviously has been different than what he has been saying in the public. You also, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I just said okay.
All right. Also, Indiana Jones, before the purchase of Bethesda, that game that is being worked on by the Wolfenstein people, that was going to be on the PlayStation consoles. Xbox actually went and renegotiated with Disney to make it a Xbox and PC exclusive. So that is, kind of in the favor of like, oh, look what Microsoft has done. They have made these deals and they have tried to switch it around. Basically, that's a lot of what the FTC was trying to prove was, look at what Microsoft said and did with the Bethesda deal. They said in some cases games would be coming, but, here we are now. Starfield is exclusive. There's actually emails from Pete Hines where, after the purchase of Bethesda, but upon the announcement of Activision and them saying, oh yeah, Call of Duty is still going to be coming to the PlayStation, where Pete Hines, who is basically like, he does social media and like community stuff for Bethesda. He's like, why are we not releasing our games on everything? Why do they get to release their games on everything? He's kind of walked that back a bit now, basically saying he's actually glad because now they can focus on a game on one console and not have to QC on like a PlayStation. Basically stating, if they were still making a PlayStation version of Starfield, that game would not be coming out at the end of the year because there would still need to be a lot of work done. Apparently, according to Sarah Bond over at Microsoft during her deposition, Bobby Kotick actually discussed dropping Call of Duty from Xbox unless they increase the revenue share for that game. So basically, it sounds like, I believe the typical revenue share is like 70-30, and now it's like 60-40 or something like that. Or maybe the other way around. I think it's like 60-40 and increased to 70-30.
Behind or Sony got was going to get the same deal?
That I don't know if I've seen anybody talking about that, whether it's like, they also had to agree to a higher revenue share. But I wonder if it's because they have like the deal with Call of Duty. They've got like the marketing deal or whatever with them right now. I wonder if because they're getting that money, they weren't asking for extra on top of it. But Bobby Kotick was like, oh, well, we're getting something from Sony. We should be getting something from Microsoft, So I'm wondering if that's what that was there. This one applies to you, Dominic. You're costing Microsoft money because apparently xCloud costs them money, basically. Like every time that is being used, it is a detriment to them. But you know what? Sucks to suck. Fake it till you make it. Maybe eventually, that'll work out for them. I mean, I wonder if that's just a scale thing. It's like you have so many servers, but you don't actually have very many people using them. I guess I don't know how, or maybe they just need that hardware to be cheaper.
Recently, I have seen it where it says, there's a lot of people playing. This will take a minute to play. It's like for Pacific Games though. Okay. Like MLB do that. And one time I left the show. I went to another game. Went right in. I went back to the show. To make sure. Well, is it just a game or what? It said it'll take minutes, so it was just a show.
That's super weird because you would think that those servers could just spin up whatever game it needed to.
Yeah, because I would go to Pentiment, I would get right in. And then
Huh.
I go to the show. I said it would take minutes. And this is like probably time like what was it like around 9 or 10. So this is when West Coast is getting off of work.
Okay,
Uh,
right.
so it was like a lot of people playing. Then it's the summertime too. So kids are already they left their summer school or camp or whatever they fuck they do. And they're home playing.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then this last one that I got here, basically part of what spurred the Bethesda purchase was that allegedly Starfield was going to be a PlayStation exclusive, which apparently had been reported at the time by Imran Khan. At that time, I think he was probably, might have still been at Game Informer. It might have been Fanbyte by then. But, that's kind of where we first learned about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's kind of funny that we're sitting here talking about like, oh, what is the detriment to the games industry if Microsoft has these exclusives? Meanwhile, yet again, they're just kind of proving that they're just trying to get exclusives too, because otherwise Sony would have been getting the exclusive, which
Yeah.
seems very viable because they got Ghostwire Tokyo and they got a Deathloop exclusive. So I would not have been at all surprised if Starfield had become exclusive. So, from my perspective, Microsoft having Bethesda or, access to these games makes these games more accessible to more people, because if Sony had bought exclusivity rights to Starfield, for example, it would be locked to the PlayStation consoles. Whereas Microsoft, at least you also have the option of PC. And more recently, now you have the option to stream a lot of these games on TVs and phones and many other places. So if you're talking about, consumer accessibility and what is good for consumers and not what is good for Sony or what is good for Microsoft, like it's making a lot more sense for Microsoft to own some of these things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, if you look at it as a whole, because like now that I'm seeing this, like people talking about them buying them or like now I'm saying that Sony was possibly getting some of these place studios to come exclusive with them now. It's like then it's fair game then. And now and plus if you look at the state of where Sony is now with like they got the Spider-Man brand now, like basically. I
Yeah.
mean, technically it could be a Spider-Man game somewhere else, but we know like Insomniac, Spider-Man, that be exclusive to Sony, that's big. And then with Final Fantasy 16, that'll sell on Xbox too. I mean, they bought the 15. I mean, it's Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy's when they came on since what 13, and that they've been doing pretty well with Xbox. And people want to play those games. And you can't say people don't play the Japanese games because they play those freaking Yakuza and all that stuff. So and when Persona came, that was big.
Yeah.
Finally came. Um, so yeah, like this is only makes the market like better for consumers really, like because then it's like okay, so now I mean if they're still getting Call of Duty, like I mean it's fine, like yeah, and maybe at some point they don't. Well, then that just means that Sony has to find a studio or make a game, whatever that how they do it, that is something that's comparable then, and that could be good. Because then that can make Call of Duty be better. Because they not really good. It's not really nothing in Call of Duty space,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, the funny idea is that like Call of Duty will still be relevant in 5 or 10 years or however many years that these deals that they're signing with these companies are going. Like honestly kind of surprising that it's been as successful as it has been for the last however many years, because
It really
at a
has.
certain point they're just retread. I mean, they're not even basically retreading, they're literally redoing those previous games at this point. We're seeing Modern Warfare again and Modern Warfare 2 again.
Exactly. Price is dead. Why the hell he's still like he's supposed to be dead based on Modern Warfare? Like what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But it is surprising that if you think about it. Yeah, like why is Call of Duty like usually things go down because like Halo it died down, but Call of Duty somehow didn't.
Yeah, it's
Even though
almost like
it's
that Madden thing, right? It's like, okay, this is the game I buy every year, and it's not necessarily people playing the single player, it's them playing the multiplayer, I would imagine.
yeah.
So they can just they can rehash these campaigns as much as they want. But yeah, you would hope if they had some competition in that space that maybe we would see something different, but I don't know. It almost feels like a series that if you want to actually breathe new life into it, you're going to have to sit it on the shelf for a couple of years.
Yeah, well, aren't they doing that?
Yeah, yeah, because
I
last
guess
year
if
they
you want to
didn't
talk about
release one,
Warzone,
right?
I mean Warzone, they do Warzone updates, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think that's the same thing because they do updates every year.
yeah, that's a
Um,
completely different thing.
yeah, but yeah, I think, but I don't have no faith that it's going to be anything new. I'll be happy, but I mean, if it's good, but I don't know. I just think they just taking a break because maybe I don't know, maybe just don't want to pay anybody or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where that stuff is sitting. It just let me see if I can find the date that the deal has to be closed by, because I think it's like the 19th or the 18th or something like that. Microsoft. It's kind of hard to believe that it's only been like just over a year that we've known about this deal, because it almost feels like it's been going on forever now.
Yeah, I know. Darn. I was so happy when I heard that.
Yeah, I mean it was shocking. Um, all right, let's see. Is expected to close by July 18th. Yeah, so I think after that they have to pay a large sum of money, and I don't think they'd be looking to do that. And if this hold from the FTC doesn't come the FTC's way, then I think Microsoft basically has the all clear outside of the UK to do it. And if you've got 90% of the world, I think maybe you pull that trigger and you figure out how to deal with the UK after the fact, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You wait. I mean, I think they'll come around. If you get everybody else to start going, I think the UK will come around. Honestly, I
yeah,
mean,
we'll see. I mean, because
I mean,
again, like if the if
I'm gonna be honest with you, Daniel. Uh, I don't, this mean I don't give a fuck.
I mean,
Like,
absolutely, yeah. Obviously, we're not there; it doesn't matter. But
yeah. If I'm
that's
just
kind of the
entertaining
funny
it
thing
anyway.
is like these consumer protection agencies, though, like they're trying to protect the consumers, and if the result of that is going to be that no one in the UK can purchase Game Pass, like that doesn't feel like that's protecting the consumer. That very much feels like it's just protecting Sony, who, now doesn't have to compete with Game Pass. But how is that fair? Because they still have PlayStation Plus Extra, which is basically the equivalent, or maybe they can have Game Pass, but they can't have Game Pass with Activision Blizzard games, which seems
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
just
I
as
wonder
silly.
what's the stipulations with that?
Yeah. So I think that's where it's going to get real interesting, is if and when this does go through, where Microsoft is willing to, just be like, okay, whatever to the UK, like what ends up happening there to either appease the CMA or to work around basically the stuff that they put in place to block them. So I guess we will see how much power corporations have, Dominic. Can they take out a small country? So All right. Yeah, and then basically the only other news I had, Dominic, for these couple of weeks was Nintendo had their Direct, basically their E3 equivalent, their Game Fest equivalent Direct, and it definitely came with some heavy hitters. It mixed in a couple of not so heavy hitters, some filler stuff, but we're gonna kind of skip over that stuff and just hit to the point. Kicked off with Pokemon DLC, The Hidden Treasures of Area Zero. They've been talking about that stuff for a while now. That's coming out. Half of it is coming out in fall 2023, and then the other is coming out in winter of 2023. So it's got like new legendaries and whatnot. After that, they showed off Sonic Superstars. That is going to have 4-player co op, but it's going to be local only co op, Dominic. So, once again, getting devastated by this local only co op situation.
I know. That sucks.
Just,
But oh, go ahead.
I just put in the extra work. Like, I know game development is hard, but like at the same time, we are long past the time of, oh, we don't know how the internet works anymore. Like Xbox Live is going on what, like 15 years old at this point, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
It's probably a little older, maybe. Because how many years after Xbox came out, it was Xbox Live?
that's true. Yeah.
Because we're past 20 years on Xbox.
Yeah, I think that stuff was almost immediate, wasn't it? I feel like it.
I mean, I'm not sure. I just don't remember the subscription stuff
Yeah.
till later.
Let's see. Apparently, it was destined for summer 2002. Xbox Live was finally given a name at E3 2002 when the service was unveiled. It's in entirety. So yeah, we're close to 20 years there, Dominic. Jeez. And here we can't even get co-op games over the internet.
Oh, so when was it? It was unveiled, but when did it go live? You said 2002?
Live, go live. Yeah, E3 20. Okay, so let's say it was. Trying to find where it actually. Deployment, sound packages, blah, blah,
It will be
blah.
20 years. It'll be over 20 years. Oh,
Packaging, playable Xbox Live. Had reached 1 million users in 2004. Does it have like an actual Game Informer with the complete abridged version of history of the Xbox Live service? Da, da, da. Didn't launch until November of 2002. So yeah, it's over
yeah,
over
it's over
20
20 years.
years, Dominic. Jeez. That is incredible that we are still releasing games that don't just like we talked about it. I feel like very recently though. Like it's why is there not just a backbone for these games that makes it so
That's what I
much
was thinking.
easier?
Like, why isn't like the system itself, like Nintendo, Sony, and well, Xbox? I'm sure Xbox, Microsoft would do it. I'm sure Sony would definitely do it. Nintendo's,
Yeah,
I can
Nintendo
see
is
that
the
move.
odd one out.
They're
Yeah,
weird. Yeah, they're weird, but they by now shouldn't. They should do it. That they should have it where, hey, you can play like the things that you can make it local co-op, but we'll make it so that they can play online.
yeah.
Like I just don't get
Yeah,
it.
because Steam, like we talked about, Steam has that service built in now. So I can basically turn any local co-op game into a multiplayer online game. And why is that something only they can do?
Yeah, because that sucks. Because look, my friends don't have no Steam, and they like so that doesn't do nothing for me. That's good for those PC people, but it ain't good for the console guys where that's really known.
Yeah.
Like. I mean, because now, well, it's known for local co-op, but come on, man, we like you said, they they told us how big online shit was and everything. And they know gamers. Look, people who were playing games during Nintendo days and stuff are like grown people with kids,
Hmm.
or grandparents or some of them. And so, but they still play games.
Yeah,
People still play games. So it's like, why are you doing this? Like, older people can't meet up to play games together, man. Like, we all know this ain't a kid's toy like back in the day.
yeah.
This is not. Yeah, we're past that point. If you got games saying 17 and over, man, you know this ain't this ain't for kids. I don't know, man. Like, I wish that someone would just say the real excuse. Like, how much? Like, you have to get your own servers. I just can't believe that you would have to get like, why? Yeah, why can't I make it, or at least what they used to do, P2P or something like that?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the
right.
cheapest way?
Exactly. Why can't you do something like that? Because then people complain about it, Dominic. There's no winning for these companies. That's why
Oh
they
yeah,
just want to do
oh,
the
the
cheapest
guy
way.
who's a home for cheating. But even though if it's co-op, it's like what he's doing, cheat himself. What the hell does that even mean? Why would he do that?
Yeah, yeah. So it's silly. I don't know. We'll see how Sonic Superstars turns out. It's cool that they're gonna have multiplayer, but once again, local only. It's kind of a disappointment. All right, next up, Dominic. Persona 5 Tactics will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that'll be November 17th. There was a new Splatfest announcement for July 14th through the 16th. This one is ice cream flavors. And I felt like this was noteworthy because the flavors that they chose to highlight were vanilla, mint chip, and strawberry, Dominic.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like
they don't give you nothing that's picked neither of those.
I feel like there's one glaring oversight in that ice
They're
cream flavor.
racist.
Like, maybe strawberry ice cream is bigger in Japan. I don't know, but like, how do you not have chocolate chip on that list?
I,
Or chocolate on that list? What are we talking
chocolate,
about?
yeah, chocolate. Like mint, you have mint chocolate chip.
Which
You
is
got mint
delicious, but
chocolate chip.
still,
Yeah,
it's not
but
as
that's not the
iconic as chocolate ice
look. The
cream.
iconic ones is vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. There's a freaking Neapolitan. What the hell?
Yeah.
Good God. Like,
So
what the hell? Is that like sacrilege in Japan? Well, hold up. But
maybe.
wait a minute. But that's Japan. Japan usually have their own.
Oh yeah.
So
Uh,
this is a worldwide one?
it might not be. I was just, maybe the people coming up with it, like the same way where it's like condiments. Do you want ketchup, mustard, or mayonnaise? It's
Yeah.
like I don't feel like mayonnaise fits in with those.
Yeah, but even though those Canadians and French people will say something different,
Yeah.
and I just say y'all weird.
All right. So next up after that was Detective Pikachu Returns. Dominic, the gravel voiced Pikachu, is back doing some
Yeah,
detective
it's that
work.
Andy though.
Yep.
Yep,
I
and he's
mean,
gonna tell you some Mike subs. I think that's what he does now on those commercials.
yeah. I forgot like the I knew that was the meme, but I forgot that was the actual like voice that they used for him. And then hearing him in this trailer, I was like, "Oh yeah, he doesn't sound like Ryan Reynolds." So, yeah, that is coming out October 6th. So that's filling out their fall lineup a little bit, and the following game is really going to fill that out. Super Mario RPG, Dominic. They're remaking that game. It's coming out November 17th. What's your level of excitement?
I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, that was a game that I appreciated later in life, though, because
Mm.
I didn't really like look at it at the beginning. I used to thought like graphically it looked cool, but I just didn't really know what to do. I mean, I only had limited time to play it because I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I was just over at my sister's place.
Mm.
But after I had it on PC, I liked it more. But I always end up stop playing it. I forget why. I think I used to use cheats and it used to glitch at some point, and then I just yeah, I think it was a point where I think I something with the infinite health, it would
Mm.
cause something to go wrong, and then I get hit, lose, I'll die one hit or something. It was something stupid, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I do. yeah, I would like to play this. Yeah, I would definitely like to play this.
Yeah,
I'm just
this
mad
is a
at the
game
play.
that I experienced a lot more through like watching my buddy play it. I never spent a lot of time with it, even like with an emulator or anything. So I'd definitely like to revisit and see how it holds up. After that, they showed off a new Princess Peach game. Doesn't have a title yet. Supposed to be coming out in 2024. They just showed some brief video of it. It looks like a side scrolling thing, but there didn't really look to be much in the way of gameplay from that video. So I wonder what that ends up actually being.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's gonna be more like the 3D Super Mario World, where it's like 3D, but
Mm.
kind of just 2D or isometric kind of DD. I don't know. But yeah,
And then they also announced that Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the 3DS game, the second Luigi's Mansion game, will be getting a port to the Nintendo Switch in 2024. So
so it's just a port. It's not like upgrade or anything.
it'll be a higher res. It won't be just straight, but it's not going to be anything more than that. I'm sure. Basically the same way the Wii U games have come over.
Yeah.
So after that, they talked a little bit of the Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope stuff. There is a demo out right now for that game, so that's why I figured I'd mention that.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool.
Like it's
Also,
DLC, right?
what's that?
What's the DLC about?
This one is the one before the Rayman one. It's called Last Spark Hunter, and I don't know if there's anything like super specific about it, and anything.
Yeah, man, I guess if you saw Last Starfighter, you'll probably get it.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'm missing the context. Yeah. All right. After that, they showed off Pikmin 4. They got some new stuff in that. Apparently, you can play at night now instead of having to go back to your spaceship at night. And there's going to be glow Pikmin to help you out with playing at night. There's also Dandori battles, which are like, they look like they were like player versus player kind of challenge battle type things. And that looks all right. There's going to be a demo for that. Actually, it's out now because as of writing this, it was June 28th, but we have now passed that date. So there's a demo of Pikmin 4 out now.
Oh, cool. Well, I can't try this week, but I'll try when I can go back home.
Yeah. And then that game comes out July 21st. And available now is Pikmin 1 and 2 on the Switch. They ported those over there. So you can buy those. I believe they only come as the pack. And it's, I want to say $40. Let me see. Pikmin 1 plus 2 Nintendo Switch bundle. It is. I don't know why. Whenever I bring up eShop websites, they always take a minute to load in the price and the download thing. It is $50 for the 2-pack of those. Man, let me.
This is both the Pikmin games?
Yeah, Pikmin 1 and 2.
Okay.
Those are some ugly games by today's standards. Like the textures are just like awful, and the characters look like pre-Toy Story models. I mean, I guess those games are pretty old, but still.
Thing is, I remember always looking like it looked good.
Yeah.
I remember in my mind, maybe, yeah, if I see it, I'm like, oh no, but it looked good at the time.
Yeah. In your head, what it looks like now in Pikmin 4 is what it looks like in your memory.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. I just always pictured that big bug thing, whatever the hell that eats them. That's always.
All right. After that, they announced that Metal Gear Solid Collection is going to be coming to the Switch. So that'll be the first time you'll be able to play Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on a Nintendo console. That's coming out October 24th.
Yeah, because all the Nintendo people, all they played was one. Yeah. And the remake, Twin Snakes, and never knew what the hell happened after.
Yeah. And then Vampire Survivors, Dominic, is coming August 17th to the Switch with co-op, 4 players, but it too is local only.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I would imagine that this 4-player co-op comes to other consoles and PC eventually, and at least on the PC, if you're playing through Steam, you could theoretically then play through that Steam multiplayer link like we were talking about earlier. But once again, it's just like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on. All right.
Oh, but the Metal Gear, why haven't they brought back Twin Snakes? Even for Nintendo.
That's a good question. I wonder, because I know it's not as well revered, but I wonder if it's like a source code thing. If it's like, well, we designed this for GameCube exclusively and to try and get those assets up-resed in progress. Nobody really thinks about that version of the game. We're just going to give them the PlayStation version and we're going to move on with our lives,
Yeah. It was just take out, that Yoshi toy or those toys they had where you could, it was on somebody's desk or something like that. Just take that stuff out, man.
Turn them into Ratchet and Clank and Master Chiefs. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I can't help but think it's just because the reception of it, people are not nostalgic for that game in the way that they are that original version of it. So.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but to me, I always still like that version better.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why not. Why wouldn't I like that? I know there's nothing bad about it.
He flips over a missile, Dominic. It's absurd. How dare you? That's
the
cutscenes I remember.
But that's what they do. They do crazy stuff in all these Metal Gears.
I was gonna say anything past
the original. Yeah, the original, not counting the Nintendo one, but the PlayStation one, Metal Gear Solid, that was, yeah. After that, that's when they went crazy. They went crazy in 2. But that's bullshit.
I think that's what people don't like, which is funny because they still like the series, but they basically don't like the fact that 1 was brought up to par on the batshit scale in that game. So. I don't know. It's weird. All right, Dominic. Next up was Penny's Big Breakaway. This game is being made by some of the creators behind Sonic Mania and is looking pretty good. It's targeting early 2024. It's definitely got some of the Sonic elements to it, but this is a more 3D. I can't quite tell if it's a full 3D thing or if it's a Super Mario World 3D thing, but I'm digging what they're showing with this. I'm excited for that.
It looks all right. I prefer. I just want Sonic Mania 2.
You just want Sonic to be good again.
Yeah.
Which is just so wild that Sega did not either purchase these guys or bring them in house or do something. The fact that game was so good.
They have their pride, Daniel.
Yeah, I guess. Only the Japanese can make good Sonic games. All right. After that was Mario Kart Wave 5. They showed off more characters. Petey Piranha, Wiggler, Kamek. They're all coming, as well as some new courses. They showed off one set in a bathroom. So that's cool. Summer 2023 is what they're angling for on that one.
What game is this?
The DLC for Mario Kart.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, just adding characters, adding more levels. WarioWare Move It is a new WarioWare game coming out for the Switch. That's coming out November 3rd. So that seems like because of the Move It title and what they were showing off in the presentation, it's going to be a lot of using the Joy-Con to do stuff. I wonder how that gels with a Switch Lite. Can I play this game on a Switch Lite? Can I not play it at all? Do I play it in some sort of different capacity? What's that? What's that look like? I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I always forget about the Switch Lite sometimes. All right, Dominic, and then the big one last thing moment in this presentation was Super Mario Wonder. This is going to be a brand new 2D style Super Mario game. Now, when I initially was watching this on my phone, I was like, "Oh, that looks cool," but it doesn't look that much different than like one of the new Super Mario Brothers games. So like
Mhm.
I was starting to see a lot of reactions online like, "Oh man, this looks incredible." Like and I'm just like, "It looks good." I'm excited for another Super Mario game. I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm not really seeing it. But then like as people were talking about it more and I went back and I watched it, it definitely does have like a lot more personality. Like the way Mario is animated, he's a lot less stiff than he is in the new Super Mario games. So I'm digging
Yeah.
that.
And an elephant man.
He does turn into an elephant in that trailer, which is kind of amusing. It seems like you're going to collect these wonder seeds or something that's going to turn you into different things or give you different powers. And this one is, of course, going to have multiplayer. You can play as Peach and Yoshi and Daisy. Daisy's added to this one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to
Is
that.
she
That is
easier
coming
than
out
Peach?
October 20th. And
I want to easier. Is she easier than Peach?
I don't know. So they showed her in the trailer pushing a pipe against one of the what are they called? The football player style dudes. One of the buff Koopas. So I
Oh yeah.
wonder if it's going to be like a Super Mario 2 thing where like each of them has their own kind of special or unique ability and she's going to be like the strong one. Cuz we love our strong ladies now, Dominic. We love our
Yeah.
big strong ladies
Well,
like
she's
the
been with
Amber
Donkey
lady.
Kong.
What's that?
She's been with Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
She's been working out with him.
she has been. I'd watch that video, Dominic.
Whatever. It's already been done. So,
So yeah, that was Nintendo's presentation. I have seen surprisingly some mixed reactions from this. Like most of what I've seen has been really positive. Like they've really fleshed out their fall winter lineup a whole lot here. And then some other people were just like, "Oh yeah, another Mario game, another Super Mario RPG remake." Like nobody cares. I'm like, "Wow, okay." I
yeah,
guess that's an
it really
opinion.
is comments. And how I feel is initially I did feel kind of bland, honestly. But then
Okay.
when I looked at it, I said, you know what, the RPG, I do want that. And the new Wonder, Super Mario Wonder, I know it's going to be fun. And we haven't had a new Super Mario game because the other one was a remake,
That's
and
true.
then and there were 3D World was 3D World,
Yeah.
and so this is actually a freaking new game, uh, and and I mean the other like and the I mean you got Pikmin 4 just because well see I never played Pikmin so I don't know if I like it or don't like it. I know you don't really care for it, but people do. So you get a finally a brand new Pikmin game, and
Absolutely.
there are other two up there also. They have a lot of games. They have a lot of games. They're all somewhat different genres. So there's something else. I mean, the only thing you're missing, I guess, is the Metroid, really, because I don't know what else people are asking for. I
Yeah.
mean, unless
I
you're
mean,
asking for something new,
yeah.
which
They're smartly avoiding like having too many things on the table. Like I think I spent a lot of time complaining about Microsoft having just too many things announced and not having anything put out. Whereas Nintendo, we're constantly wondering if they're going to have anything in the future because they don't really have a lot of cards on the table right now. It's Metroid, which is unfortunate for them that they haven't been able to put that game out yet. But outside of that, and now all of these things that they've announced, but they're coming out within pretty relative short order here. There's not a whole lot where we're like, oh, geez, man, Nintendo just needs to finish this game that they've been talking about for so many years now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there isn't. I mean, these are games I want. These games, like some of the games, like I do want the more RPG. I do want to play Wonder, and I do Peach. I mean, I have to see it some more of it. I
Yeah.
always wanted to try Luigi's Mansion. I never played it.
Mhm.
Um, the what other game was there? I mean, the other stuff was third party. I mean, I still want to try Pikmin 1 or 2. I mean, I don't want to pay that price for it though, but
Yeah.
I do want to try them just to see if I like them. I mean, it was some things there. It wasn't something me getting like real excited about, but I I mean, I don't know. It had to be something that surprised me. Right now, the only thing I want is actually the remastered of like Zelda Wind Waker. I mean, but
Mm.
other than that, I just want I guess something new because I really have nothing I really really want. Like I said, oh, I want Nintendo to do this. I just want to be surprised.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is the best stuff from Nintendo is when they provide me with something that I can't think of, you know.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm looking for.
maybe that's what it is. These games that are coming, they're not really surprises.
Mhm.
They're something that's been done before, but just look they look different.
Yeah,
Like
a
I mean,
relative known quantity, basically.
yeah, like the Mario. Um, we've seen this iteration of Mario since the Wii, like with the new Super Mario. So I mean, it's loved, but it's not something new. Like when we first saw the new Super Mario Brothers, because going back 2D Mario, you didn't really think about that, and
Yeah.
then doing it, and it looked pretty cool. It's like, oh, it's 2D, but it's also different. And then 3D World, it's also different. It's yeah, and just like the Mario, what was it, Mario Odyssey? Like that was big. I guess we haven't got something that really blew us minds like that yet.
Yeah.
I think that's just maybe that's what those people want. And I get it because I'm used to because it's been, I guess, relatively with time. Like it hasn't been a whole lot to come out, but it hasn't been none of those like big moments with Nintendo, and I guess they were expecting that. And yeah, you got something that was good, but I guess it's just not that big moment that they're really like, oh my goodness, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think out of the big three, Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony, I think Microsoft and Nintendo had very good showings each, and Sony kind of faltered there. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate they were the first ones too, so they couldn't even really react to anybody else. But they set the tone, and it feels like both Nintendo and Microsoft just jumped right over that bar.
Yeah, but go on the gear. I mean, if you're a PlayStation guy, you got. I mean, I would assume that you're looking forward to Spider Man. What's the other game coming out for Sony? That's it.
That's it. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
Final Fantasy just came out. That was one
I
of
mean,
the big
yeah,
ones.
that's right. That's right. Because I'm used to saying Final Fantasy, and that's already came out now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Final Fantasy guy, you got the Final Fantasy. That was always crossed. Like Spider-Man, Final Fantasy doesn't. No, I mean, people can like one or the other, or neither, or But like for someone like me, if I had a PlayStation 5, I would have probably tried Final Fantasy 16. Like if it was years ago, I would have definitely been on it. I'm like, I mean, if you listen to this podcast, you already know how I feel about Final Fantasy now. I'm definitely looking forward. I mean, to seeing the videos of Spider-Man. Because I'm not PS5, so I can't play it. But definitely looking forward to seeing those for the new Spider-Man and see what's going on with that. I mean, that like I got a PS5, yeah. I mean, I still got a game. But I get it. Like if you're like a young guy who plays a lot of games and you want some more big games, I mean, yeah, it's just going to be one of those down years. But it happens. It happens with all these systems. Like you ain't gonna have it hit it all the time.
Yeah.
Like it ain't you don't get them all the time.
All right, Dominic, did you see anything else you want to talk about before we get into these new releases?
I forgot to mention in like games I played. I forgot to mention like I've been playing a hell of a lot of Marvel Snap, and I mentioned that last
Oh
podcast.
boy,
But
yeah.
I tried out the because during the Summer Game Fest they announced that Conquest mode, and I tried that out, and I was doing pretty good in Conquest. Like you, basically, it's just like the regular Marvel Snap game, but you have health bar. So the Snap bar turns to like when you hit Snap, that's how many cubes you usually get in the regular mode. Like you can level up. or you can lose um, cubes and level down. So, but in this one, it's just a health. You're playing against a guy, and it's just a health bar. So I think you have, I forget how many blocks, 8, I want to say. You have 8 blocks. So once they, well, not blocks, but whatever the health thing is. So, and once those 8 are gone, you're dead. So you can probably like, hey, I want double points, so I can get rid of that guy's bar. Like gets more. I'm like his health. You take a chance, or they take a chance, or something like that.
Mm.
And yeah, so you could be playing more. So you play multiple matches against them, all until everybody loses the health. Sometimes it can go quick because if you just use a snap and it'd be double that 8 or double that 4, like it'd be like 2 quick games or something. But this recent game, man, I had this dude like to 2 health because I went in like snapped. I mean, no, he went in snapped, and then later on I snapped because I felt like, man, he ain't gonna win, and I beat him that match. But after that, I lost every match we played, and he came back and won. And I was pissed. I didn't play for the whole day. Like the next day. Yeah, because I was like, how the hell? Because man, it's just that unfortunately, even with the deck I had built, it just came bad luck with the combination of what cards he had and of the position, like the each of the I don't know what's the places called on the what's the places called in Marvel Snap? The
Like the
locations where you put the cards
zones
at.
or yeah,
Yeah, the
gotcha.
zone. Like the zones would change, and there was always they always turn out bad for me. Like always turn out bad for me, or he'll get rid of one of my cards that I needed, and every time I would try to get rid of a card he needed, it didn't seem to affect him.
Mm.
And it's been like, and I always get to like a point where at the last spot where you got to put, you only got 6 points to put a card. I was like, oh, I need to, like I said, I got to do 2 spaces though, and I don't have the cards for it. It just came bad luck with it. And yeah, that deck, now I saw the limitations because I was killing with that deck for a while. But during that match, I saw the limitations of that deck. Because I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I said, I just can't get, I just, I see, but that is smart because it shouldn't be an unbeatable deck. It should never be a deck that's
Yeah,
unbeatable because
definitely not.
then, like, what the hell's the point? So I was like, okay, so that's all that was. Because, yeah, because I play with different cards. Like, I have decks set up where like I have destroy deck where you destroy cards, your cards get stronger and things of that nature. Then I have a deck where like movement, you always move in a card. Well, actually, I'm trying to build that one. Actually, I didn't really fully build that one yet because I'm still missing a couple type of cards that I need. But I do have a deck where I do like you grow, like get a bigger deck because like especially with that dinosaur one, the more cards you have in your hand, the more powerful he is.
Oh,
So a combination of him and Moon Girl, which is funny because I think they purposely did that because they're in a comic together,
yeah.
Moon Girl and the Red Dinosaur. So it's like she gives you 4 of the same cards you have in your hand. So with the combination of him and her, you put him on the field, he'll get stronger because you're getting more cards in your hand. And you
Mm.
possibly could get him again if you had him in your hand, where you can have 2 of him. So I feel that's pretty cool. Um, and then you have other cards too that will help build your hand. Like, hey, I'm get a copy of the opponent's card, or steal one of your opponent's cards, and then that helps build him up. Yeah, it's a lot of games. Oh, like the Collector. There's a card called the Collector, which is the Collector from the Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, and he has it where if if you keep getting a card in your hand that's not your deck, not from your deck, he gets stronger. So you have to
Oh.
build towards that. You have to, it's like, yeah, because it's going to be like, well, we got to get cards that where you can take it or move it or something to make him stronger. So that's what I did. I mean, I looked up how you build a deck around him, and yeah, and it looks pretty good. I mean, I lose sometimes, yeah. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't want to win all the time. I mean, I want to win all the time, but I wouldn't be. But I want to. But I want to. Like, I
Want
actually
there to be some
did
drama.
win. Yeah, exactly. Because if it gets to that point where I feel like, oh, it's unbeatable, then it's like, oh, the game's broken, and somebody's just going to just buy their way to win and shit like that. Uh, but yeah, that game's pretty good. It's pretty good, and I spent no money yet. I spent any money. So,
Nice.
I mean, not saying that's wrong. I mean, but I haven't got to the point
Yeah,
where
if it
I
hasn't
need
blocked
to.
you from progress in a
Yeah,
way that forced you to spend money, that's pretty good. That's a start for a
yeah.
free to play game.
All right. So, nah, that's it, man.
All right, we'll get into these new releases real quick. First up, we got Amnesia: The Bunker. That's out on the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles. That is
Yeah,
the
Amnesia. I was watching a guy play like a early Amnesia game for a while, and
uh-huh.
maybe it's just where he was located because I was just waiting for something scary to happen, and nothing would happen.
I think a lot of it is more about like the tension of it, like always expecting something to happen more than actual things happening. Because I think even in the bunker, you're still basically a character that doesn't have any offense. So I would imagine like if you actually end up in situations where you're dealing with a monster or whatever the the bad guy there is, that it's not really fun because you're just running away and hiding. Whereas like if there's just like this constant tension, you get that fear, but you don't get the like aggravation of actually having to deal with the unseen. All right, next up, Dominic, we got Diablo 4 out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series console. What are your feelings on Diablo 4 outside of you really hope this Activision deal goes through so you can
I mean,
get
it
that in Game
looks.
Pass?
I mean, I played the beta.
Mm,
It plays well. I mean, I like it.
yeah,
There's a hook to it.
yeah.
Oh,
Reviews have
I
been
guess
pretty
I
positive.
talk about next podcast more, but I know they're playing a little bit of Chaos Bane, another Diablo S
Okay.
game. It's the Warhammer one with the
Mm.
dwarf on the front. And yeah, I playing that. I can Diablo feels better than that. Like I can feel the difference between those two games. Like it's just something about Diablo that it makes it just feels a whole lot better than that game. I
Yeah.
don't know particularly what it is, but
It's
yeah,
like Blizzard's secret sauce, Dominic.
yeah.
All right. After that, we got Aliens Dark Descent out on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles. That is an RTS style Aliens game with an isometric view. It's reviewing surprisingly well. So, seems all right.
Oh, that's good, man. So yeah, they dropped the ball with Fire Team and whatever the hell was that before.
And every other
Um,
game after Isolation.
so yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Keep the
All right.
Alien Universe alive. Are they doing another like type of alien movie?
I don't know. I don't think I've heard anything definitive.
I mean, like, yeah, like just. I mean, I know eventually it's going to be something,
Oh,
but
yeah.
just like somebody like it's in the making. Like there's has been talked and something. Like something's being done, and they already got the actors.
Alien
You ever heard
versus Jason.
anything? Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see. From IGN, new Alien movie set to begin production this month as cast and synopsis is revealed. This is from March 5th of this year.
Oh, okay.
So apparently there is one in the works, although I would imagine like the writer's strike is maybe put that on hold for now, but I guess we'll see.
I don't think it. Here's the thing, but hopefully the script is done, right?
Yeah, but I feel like production. Well, there's the part where it's like because it's a union, some of the other unions will like stand alongside them,
Oh
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't do
that's right.
production. There's
Yeah.
also like you have your script, but then you have your script doctors and the people that are like constantly working on making the script better, even though they just film the scene and stuff like that. So
We need more Michael Bays out there.
we'll just say fuck a script. I don't need one. Here's a transformer with some balls hanging down on top of a pyramid. All right, next up, Dominic Crash.
That's your best memory of that movie, huh?
That's my only memory of that movie, Dominic. Constructicon balls. All right. Let's see. Next up, Aliens Dark Descent. Oh, not Aliens Dark Descent. Crash Team Rumble. Not to be confused with the other CTR, Crash Team Racing. That is now out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series consoles. If you're looking for your multiplayer Mario Party style game, but starring Crash Bandicoot.
Yep, it's better. I heard it was better.
Of course. We all already mentioned it, but Final Fantasy 16, that is out now on the PS5 only. It sounds like 6 months minimum before we see that game on PC. And God only knows if we'll ever see it anywhere else. So
yeah,
we'll see about that.
Or it might maybe like 15 when that deluxe edition that gets released, whatever, with all the DLC. So that'd be like 2 years from now, maybe something like that.
Yeah. We also got Sonic Origins Plus that comes out now with the Game Gear games, and that's out on Windows, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One.
Like it'd be 30. Is it? Wait a minute. Is it 30?
It was. Don't commit to anything yet, Dominic. The digital version of this game is $40. Yeah, $39.
Yeah. So. Like I said, at least 30.
Yeah. That also adds like you can play as Amy in the older games and fun little side things like that. But
yeah, I mean that's cool for those people who play the newer Sonic games. But like I'm old school Sonic, I'm like I don't know where the fuck Amy is. Yeah. There ain't no girls in my Sonic game.
Only girls in my Sonic game are human girls that Sonic's kissing on.
No, that's Adventure.
I know that's later too.
But yeah, humans either. Oh no, the only girl was in Spinball. It was the fox girl and the rabbit girl from the cartoon. They were in that version.
Yeah. All right, next up, Dominic, AEW Fight Forever. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Sounds like it's a good start, but at full price, it's maybe not the best value in wrestling games. I'm still excited to see what it has to offer, despite what these low scores are saying, because most of them, from what I'm reading, are still saying it's a fun game. It's just the value proposition maybe isn't there. So I'm looking at waiting for a sale. I was telling you that, right now it's on sale on Steam, and I'm still not entirely sure where I want to buy that. I haven't seen Switch reviews of it yet. I feel like that's a game that wouldn't run well on the Switch, even though it looks visually like a game that should very much run well on the Switch. But I feel like I've heard cursory things of, oh yeah, it actually does run surprisingly well on the Switch. So I don't know. That's a game that if it I would consider it on the Switch if it had crossplay, because there's a leak out there that they're going to add basically a battle royale mode for the Stadium Stampede. That was a match that they did on AEW television during the pandemic, where they went into the Jaguars Stadium and fought around that and fought on the field and stuff. So allegedly there's going to be a mode added to that game that's a battle royale where there's 30 different players and they're wrestling all around the stadium and the field as like the circle encloses and whatnot, just like a Fortnite or something. So that sounds like that could be a lot of fun, but I would not.
I guess it'd be like that. You remember that wrestling?
Oh yeah,
Fortnite game that got canceled.
Yeah.
It got canceled, didn't it?
It did.
Well, not canceled, but it got taken off because I played it.
It closed down. Yeah.
Good God! I mean, that was kind of quick if I think about it, because it wasn't even out that long.
Quick. Yeah, it was super quick. Yeah. So, but that's the thing is, like on the Switch, I wouldn't expect to be able to find a full match. I'm sort of worried that even on the PC, I would have trouble finding a whole match. I almost think the only place I would be able to do that is maybe the PS5, but yeah. All right, next up, Dominic. Everybody 1-2 Switch. That's on the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure that's getting rave reviews. Next, I haven't seen reviews for it yet, but considering the way the talk around it when it finally got announced that it was coming out, that basically they had been shelving it because it was so bad, I do not expect this game to be good in any real way. So
it's going to be surprised, like High Five Rush.
yeah. I mean, maybe that's maybe it ends up being like Hi-Fi Rush. There is this post on Reddit from 23 hours ago that says, surprisingly, Everybody Want to Switch is not that bad. So there you go.
Actually, yeah. He said, I thought it was going to be a 4. It's actually just a 5.
Because he does emphasize that bad. So it could still be bad. It's just not that bad.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Front Mission, the first remake that's out on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. So that's that tactical tank mech game.
Yeah. Isn't that is that Square Enix?
I believe it is, yeah. Let me confirm that is correct, but I'm pretty sure it is. It is, yes, Forever Entertainment and Square Enix.
I think when I was younger, I used to get when somebody was talking about Metal Gear Solid, how great it was. I was thinking that was that because I just thought of Metal Gear as a robot. I mean, and it was.
This robot does look very Metal Gear Ray-ish, so like I could see.
Well, I didn't know what Metal Gear was. It just sounded like a robot game.
Okay.
So I thought it was like a robot fighting game or something, or action game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Metal Gear is a robot, but I did not think it was a spy espionage game. Because I got that game not knowing what it was. Like my dad had got he got some guy because he could do illegal copies of PlayStation games.
Right.
So I had a whole lot of games for Christmas, and I just played it, and I was like, "This is not what I thought this was." I was like, it's just like, what's a robot? It was like, but then, man, I was so surprised.
All right.
That's it.
And then the last one we got here is Ghost Trick, the Phantom Detective, that re-release is now out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Oh yeah, that's Capcom, right?
I think that is Capcom. Yeah, because that was part of their presentation along with that Ace Attorney collection stuff. So, yeah, that's you never played those, right?
Never played Ghost Trick
game. Yeah.
So that girl, she looks like that girl from Ace Attorney.
She very much does. Yeah.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, the game seems all right from what I've heard. So, those are our new releases. Dominic, you got anything for the people?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. Podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and any other place you may find an audio podcast. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.